So let's start with injuries then. Is there a more of a prognosis on Basham? How long is he going to be out for?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be what some people are reporting like the rest of the season. I don't think anything like that. But we're looking. We don't want to put a timescale on it, but it's going to be a minimum a few weeks, unfortunately. Yeah.
For at least the next 3 matches, that creates a problem, doesn't it? With Good now suspended.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's we've got people that can come in and step in, and we're happy with the opportunity that we're going to give to somebody else. So it's about stepping in and taking that opportunity. But it wasn't ideal, obviously, with Bash being out, and then obviously Charlie picking up his red card as well. So but it's something we've had to deal with recently in the last few weeks, injuries, suspension, whatever it may be. But we'll just crack on.
Are you giving that opportunity then to somebody who's already been in the first team squad, or one of the younger lads who've made a name for themselves? Might they get a run out?
It'll be somebody who's been in first team squad, that's for sure. But we are actually taking a couple of young lads down with us because the Friday nights have been a bit boring. We need a couple of young singers because they're novices. So the lads who are coming down, we need a couple of singers tonight down at the hotel. But there'll be a couple of young lads travelling with us. But we've gone over the side today and we're quite happy with how we're going.
So you're just trying to reduce the age profile of the music then within the squad?
Yeah, I've already warned them. 500 miles will be getting sang, even if they don't want to. And maybe a bit of ABBA. Okay, we'll stick with that.
Is everybody else available that was available the other day?
Yeah, they are. We've had a couple of knocks and bruises, and again with all the games coming thick and fast, we've got to keep an eye on that because we really can't afford anyone else to be out such a long-term one like we've had. Obviously 3 of the lads, so we've always got to keep monitoring that. But yeah, everyone else is available, thankfully.
I was going to say, how much does team selection, because it is a fairly quick turnaround, perhaps in your mind, fatigue issues, stress on the body issues for Millwall tomorrow?
Yeah, it's natural. It's got to be done. I think we saw that a few weeks ago against Huddersfield. We made 4 changes, but likewise so did they. And if you notice, I think reading Gary Rowett's notes after the game, he's looking, although he hasn't got a lot of options, I don't think, with injuries they've got, to freshen things up. And that's what it is a case of. It's not trying to tinkering for tinkering's sake. It's not trying to be clever. It's just the fact that some of the lads, have a look, and when they get tightness in muscles, that's sometimes a sign that, if you keep pushing them, then, they could be out for 3 or 4 weeks. So we've got to take all that into account. But whatever starting 11 we go with and substitutes, they'll be ready to go, that's for sure.
I know we've talked about sort of midfield rotation in the past, and you've obviously gone with different combinations depending on who you played. Are you, as a coaching staff, more relaxed that whoever plays in there, something won't be lost, or the kind of synchronization or whatever, they're all going to be on the same page, whoever plays?
100%. It's, if you're picking the best formation and best players now, it'd be difficult because there's a lot of players on top of the game. And whatever system we've played, it's been relatively successful, whether we've played 3 men in there or a 10 behind 2, 3 up front, whatever it may be. Certainly the lads will know the roles and responsibilities tomorrow. Hecky's very thorough. We go through a lot of analysis, as we say. But yeah, we've got, as I've talked about when I first came in, the 4 midfield players that are at the club are a top draw, and then you can throw a Nilliman in and a Gibbs White who can drop deep in there. So I think that's one strong area of our pitch at the moment.
It was very stark and unavoidable just how much Berger seems to relish playing that little bit further forward.
Yeah, done a little bit of work, or a lot of work with Sander, and it's just what he's been used to has been playing as a 6 and a holding midfielder, and there's a lot more to his game than that. So we've picked up a few things about him, not only now driving in the box. I mean, he's creative, but can he have some shots at goal? Can he get on the score sheet? He had the one the other night that falls to Reece. And he's a difficult player. Yeah, we saw Huddersfield, he can play as a sitter and get on it, but there's more to his game than that, and I certainly think, and we all think, and Sander as well, just speaking to him day by day, showing him clips where we want him to play. He's fantastic at driving forward on that right hand side in the midfield 3. Can he play as a sitter? Yeah, quite adequately. But as I said, there's more to his game. He can give us, not like Ollie Norwood, for example, is playing superbly in that role, but he couldn't do what Sanders doing at the minute, playing higher up on the right. So we've got to get the best of him. He's a good kid, he learns, he listens, and he's shown on, he's a top player, so we've just got to keep that consistency going from him.
It kind of makes you wonder why across the course of his time at Sheffield United, and I appreciate that's not involved you, why he hasn't played in that role much before. Generally, he's played slightly deeper.
Yeah, again, listen, I can't speak to what happened before. I know he's been unfortunate with, a couple of injuries. But I think from the first day I come into the building, I didn't know a lot about Sandro, I'll be honest. Obviously seen him, but I didn't know a lot about his profile and where he's, obviously his international appearances, where he'd played. But when you see him driving with the ball and carrying the ball like he does, for me, he's got to play higher up the park, and that's where he's flourishing at the moment.
How much of spirit's been high? It was that type of night at Bramall Lane. You were involved in them yourself as a player, and last minute winners or thereabouts. There's something special about them.
I had a lot of my family there the other night, and they were there when fortunately the good times a long time ago now, and there were little ones. Now they've got my grandkids are at the game, and the atmosphere is getting back. I said about a month ago, it's getting back at home where we'd like it to be. Performances and results like that, but even before the winning goal, the crowd were with us all the way, and it's better to have that feeling when you're there and warming up. The found the voices which we asked for, and now we've just got to keep that going.
Are you expecting more teams to come to the Lane? Although they didn't really. Tony Mowbray said he was basically going to come and defend for 90 minutes. They didn't really do that, but sought to be more obdurate first rather than play their own game. Are you expecting that more often now?
Possibly, but I would say I thought the first 20 minutes we were exceptional, and we should have been a couple of goals up. And speaking to Tony at length after it, he was delighted to weather the storm. But as we said to the lads at half time, this is a team that are in third. They're a strong side, so we can't expect just on the back of scoring 4 against Swansea that we can just turn up and score goals. We said prior to the game in the dressing room it might go to the 92nd, 93rd minute. Oh, crystal ball, eh? And we need to score from a set piece, so it all sort of worked out well. But again, reiterating what I said last time was here, the supporters have got to realise, and it's not only when we're winning, it's maybe when the game's at a 0-0 or we're even goal behind, how important they can be to lift the players. Likewise, the players on the pitch have got to lift the fans sometimes, and it goes hand in glove. And but going back to your point, it was a fantastic night, and it brought back a lot of good memories.
So Millwall next then, they're on a decent run themselves right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. 3 wins on the bounce, a couple of really good home performances. They beat West Brom 2-0. They also beat QPR, I think last time out at home 2-0. Again, they've had a couple of injuries, so they might not be freshening it up as much as they would have liked. But listen, when you've won 3 on bounce, you've got momentum. Speaking from experience, went down there earlier in the season with Blackpool, the crowd will get behind them. Although we'll have, I'm sure, a really good travelling support down there, and they'll make themselves heard as usual. But not an intimidating atmosphere, but it'll have an edge to it. 2 sides were in form, and I think it'll be. I remember going back to the old stadium, the Den, where it was tight, but it's a good big park. There's a lot of space on there. So if we look after the ball well, move the ball quickly, then we're confident that we can create opportunities. But we'll have to be at it like every game.
Do you still feel that the Millwall atmosphere in the positive but raucous sense is still as it is? I appreciate there's 2 sides to that.
Yeah.
Is going to the Den still like it used to be?
Yeah, I was just speaking about that earlier on this season. The start, that song to get them going. Like we've got our song, the Chip Butty song. They've got a song down there that gets all their fans on their feet and gets them going. But again, it's what you do when you go to supposedly intimidated atmosphere. You take the sting out of it, you get on the ball, and get possession of the ball. And we're only one thought in our mind tomorrow is to go down there and try to come back with 3 points. A very positive front foot performance. That's what we're after, and hopefully we can deliver.
A lot of the narrative has been, can Sheffield United get themselves into contention for a place in the playoffs? Yet you're only right now 5 points off automatic. Does that come into the thinking and the equation now, given just how it's truncated between second and below?
Not for me. I've got to be honest. We've got 14 games, and it's still boring saying it's the next game. Because if, you know, things were to go wrong tomorrow, then it'd be, oh, you know, we're not even going to make the playoffs and stuff like that. So no, you've got to be humble. We've got momentum, yeah, but you know, you just look at your next game, and it's nice that, you know, the lads have managed to get into the top 6, but it's not where you are now, as I said before. It's where we're going to be at the end of the season, and hopefully we'll, as we said when we came in, we want to be up and about it. But I understand supporters getting excited and looking a bit, but certainly not from my point of view, the staff point of view, the players' point of view. Look to Millwall, that's the next one, next opportunity to take 3 points.